It's an honor for us to have here Martina Dalic,
Good
the
afternoon.
former Minister of Finance in Croatia. Thank you very much for the honor of joining us here at the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy in Berlin. We would like to ask you a few questions that's just to gather your thoughts on some salient issues.
Thank you for inviting me, and as I said during the lecture, it was really a pleasure for me to be here, and actually it is pity that we didn't have more time for a discussion and more questions.
Thank you.
So I will start with the first question. In your lecture today, you spoke about economic opportunities for culture-based development. Could you please further explain how can culture be a determinant of effective bilateral business negotiations in a globalized world?
Well, I think that it is unreasonable anymore to expect that economic development can be only generated through big investments, through big projects that will employ 1,000 or 2,000 people, suddenly create a great number of working places, which was, for example, the case maybe 20 or 30 years ago. So I think all these small opportunities, maybe small in comparison to the size of the global problem of a country, should be explored in details, because creating jobs in such a way through the opportunities in culture, in heritage, in my opinion, also contributes to the stability of the society, because people are not taken out of their homes, people are not forced to go to the cities, but trying to use the opportunities in the places where they are living. So I would say that in these global relationships, such a maybe small issues, small things can generally contribute to the overall stability of the economy, overall competitiveness of the economy, and its better position vis-a-vis its trading partners. And these things, in my opinion, also allows people to know each other better. And knowing each other better then can also help in doing and in implementing big businesses, big projects. For example, there are there are great number of Croats who live abroad. Also in this country, according to some estimates, 600,000 to 700,000 Croats live in Germany. And also a lot of them in Austria, Switzerland, and around the world. And as a nation with so big number of people living abroad, it is really exciting and really nice to see from time to time how many people actually know about the country, how many people know about its specific features, and at the end of the day, its culture. So it seems to me it's a helping element in bilateral business deals, negotiations, and similar things.
Thank you.
This is you.
Do you think that the role of culture is increasing or regressing with the framework of international business negotiations?
Well, I think maybe the importance of specific individual cultural habits, I think is decreasing. But the importance of knowing the other people, knowing the culture of other people, and adapting to the culture of other people. One of the speakers today was talking about the gestures and the importance of gestures in the communication. Knowing about the culture of other people, I think is growing element, and it will increase in importance. Well, quite simple. For example, we are Southerners, so Croats, Italians, Spanish people, we do have our intrinsic habits, way of communication, which is maybe not so present among Nordic nations. And having negotiations between Croats and Swedes can actually produce, that's my my experience, can actually produce a lot of funny situations only because of the differences in their cultures, in their attitudes toward giving proposals, gestures, comprehensiveness of the explanations, the way how they come on the top of the issue. The northern people, they are much more straightforward. The southerners, for example, are much more explicable and like to talk more, and one needs to take that into the account.
Just a little clarification. You said like the individual habit, cultural habit are decreasing. Can you like tell us in your opinion why they are decreasing? What are the forces that push them to decrease?
Well, I think that maybe I wasn't quite precise and quite clear. I mean, with the globalization and with the unavoidable need to work and meet other people and other nations, one need actually to learn how to adapt hers or his individual cultural habits, and how to accept the habits and the attitudes of the others. This is what I had in mind. One can and is free to preserve his or her own national attitudes, habits, the way of communication, but also one needs to know how to adapt it and how to just simply fit into this globalized world. That's the reason why I said that I think the importance of individual habits will decrease, because the scope of our businesses, the scope of our negotiations are wider and wider. We are not anymore closed inside our nations, inside our borders.
You already partly answered the question, but how can cultural diplomacy be used as an efficient tool for mutually beneficial international business negotiation?
Yeah, you are right. I think it's extremely important, because it contributes to the reduction of the barriers barriers between people, and in that respect facilitate the opportunities for the business and the way how the business is done. And it seems to me this is going to be a long-standing importance.
Yeah, actually, you just partly answered the question that I was going to ask. So I'm going to conclude with one question, which is like, in your opinion, which natural and cultural resources have the greatest potential in terms of economic development, and how can we make sure that those resources are not damaged in the process of exploitation?
Well, I think creativity and open mind are somehow preconditions for effective use of these resources. One also doesn't need to be shy. It seems to me that very important part of the ability to use the natural and cultural heritage as economic tool is to be proud on his or her cultural heritage, well, aware also of some maybe not so good things. in these areas, but even in countries which are not extremely rich, which are not very developed, people should be proud on
true.
their culture, on their heritage, and actually try to find creative ways to offer that to the others. On many occasions, and I would say at many instances in case of my country, I see that sometimes people are shy, do not want to share and to exploit some opportunities because they think and they believe that our way of living or habits are too simplistic, too modest, and they're asking themselves who would be interested in.
But do you think
such
politicians
things.
would do that? Politicians would be shy because probably you're talking about individual, like normal people.
I'm
But
talking about the
politicians,
normal
because we're
people.
talking here about international economic and business negotiations. So usually these are politicians who take care of that, right?
Well, I was talking from the standpoint of
Normal people,
ordinary,
yeah.
normal people. When we talk about politicians, look, I think their task is to provide and open a space for the normal people to exercise their talents, their opportunities, their business ideas. I am a person who strongly ideologically believe that the only role of the state, of the politicians, of the public institutions is actually to create a space for the others, to serve to the others and remove the blockages.
That's true.
Which maybe block the activities of businesses, the ideas of ordinary people. Because a lot of these small opportunities I have been talking today and we are discussing now are actually blocked because people are faced with the barriers in the bureaucracy, people are faced with the barriers in the complex legislation. Very often people are discouraged because the procedures are complicated. Far away from that I would advocate that these things shouldn't exist. Of course they should exist, and the bureaucracy and the rules and the procedures and the laws, but the task of the politicians and those who are in a public area is to actually adjust and fit these things to be suitable and motivating for the entrepreneurs, for people with the ideas, for people who are actually every day fighting for their life.
Martina Dalic, it was indeed a pleasure and an honor having you here with us today. Thank you very much for your insightful inputs and answering our questions. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hola.
Thank you.